So here's Oklahoma City's starting group. Gallinari and Adams, the combo out front. Paul out there with Gilgeous-Alexander. And it's Ferguson in at the 3 spot. And for Sacramento, Fox at the point with Hield to his side. They're the backcourt. Bielitsa is out there with Dwayne Dedmon. And it's Barnes in at the 3. You know, Greg, for the Thunder fans, hard to see their star power dwindle, but they got a lot in return.
Yeah, but the Thunder were capped out. They hadn't made it past the first round in 3 years. And in exchange for Paul George, they got one of the richest trade packages in league history.
Now, here's Fox. Shot from 12. Here's Dedmon, and he uses the glass on the layup.
Dedmon using his length that time on the offensive end.
Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander, covered by Hield. Kept alive. Adams, the pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Adams trying to free himself up. A nice shot by Gallinari.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
Are you asking me, GA? I'm not sure.
Now, here's Fox. He had 22 points in the win against Minnesota.
Yeah, but there's always this point, Kevin. You got to look at where did he also impact the game. It was on the rebounding end of the floor. A tremendous performance there. Kind of a ticky-tack foul there, but you have to be aware that's how the refs are going to blow the whistle tonight.
Fox against Paul. Passes it to Gilgeous-Alexander. Just 3 to shoot.
And a nice defensive sequence there by Hield. Not a natural lockdown defender, but he's a competitor.
Back to Fox. Now, here's Bielitsa. Gilgeous-Alexander covering. Dedmon dishes to Barnes. Fades back. No good off the back of the rim.
Well, with his touch from mid-range, Kevin, that's almost always good. That won't shake his confidence.
Gilgeous-Alexander finds Paul. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. Paul outside. Lets the 3 fly. And there's the rebound by Dedmon. For Sacramento, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Barnes outside. Shoots it up. That shot misses. So the Thunder will take it the other way. They just couldn't come out on top last time they took on the Kings. That one was played in Sacramento.
Hey, they had their opportunities, but let's face it, they choked from the line. Hard to win that way on the road.
And you cannot afford to do that when you're in an opponent's building. You got to knock down free throws. That cost them.
Here's Fox, and it's Fox with the jam.
Well, that's good teammate stuff right there. Looking for your guys. Buddy Hield has a strong feel for when to give it up.
Inside, Fox with the steal. And now Sacramento on the break. Hield can't hit.
And he gets a lot of points right there at the rim, but the defense determined not to give up the easy deuce there.
Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Adams. Now Paul. He's still scoreless so far in this one. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's the lob to Adams, and Adams with the slam.
Sometimes you raise your eyebrows at the things Steven Adams does athletically at his size. Almost impossible to stop him once he's at the rim.
Now, here's Fox. His scoring totals are something to take note of. He's averaging over 19 points a game.
The 7th overall pick in 2012 out of North Carolina. Harrison Barnes won a title in Golden State. Signs the big contract with Dallas, but yet to achieve the stardom that many predicted back in high school.
First free throw is good. Greg, you look at Harrison Barnes. What's his best role?
I mean, Kevin, he's a hard worker, able to hit the spot up three. Defensively, his strength gives him some versatility, just a solid contributor.
Barnes hits them both.
Harrison Barnes, great experience at Golden State, a proven champion on that team, and now entering prime years of his career, trying to be consistent and trying to get a little bit better.
Now, here is Gallinari. 14 points from him the last game against Dallas. Paul can't get it to go. Kings leading now by 4. And the pass to Fox. He dishes it to Dedmon, and there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That is his first foul of the game. Outside, Fox. Kings moving the ball around. Here's Hield.
So much talk about the work ethic of Gilgeous-Alexander. Strong defensive play that time.
Here's Ferguson, covered by Barnes. Fader on the way, and he gets the bucket. Adams has got his second basket. And here's Fox. He'll bring it up for the Kings. On the wing, Barnes. Shot by Hield, nobody around, and he's good on the 3-ball.
Well, Hield can make a living out there from behind the arc. Doesn't need a lot of room to get his shot off, and he drains that one with ease.
Now here's Paul. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Ball's knocked loose. Gilgeous-Alexander kicks to Paul. 6 to shoot. Ferguson for 3. Oklahoma City gets it back. Here's Adams. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Kings leading now by 5. Barnes passes to Fox. Now here's Hield. He's covered closely.
Well, he can be intimidating. Steven Adams, such a big frame down there, and great timing on that block.
He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket. The Kings shooting 36% in this first quarter, trying to get their bearings. So the Kings call timeout. They're first. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Remarkable consistency from deep. You can't count on that every game, especially on the road.
Yeah, the interesting part was they kept firing away in that game, but the defense didn't make much of an adjustment.
Now here's Fox. Pass to Hield. Shot clock at 5. And that's a foul called on Gallinari. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Barnes. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Shot clock at 6. Cans the 12-footer.
Barnes pretty much at ease from that spot on the floor.
Thunder trailing by 5. Knocks it loose. And now the fast break. Fox with the ball. Dedmon finds Fox. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Hield.
And now a chance to take a look at the numbers for Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's been on a remarkable tear this past month. He's averaging 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. And he's been a rock in the middle for them over that stretch of games. Dominating the glass is his trademark.
I feel like those rebounds are wearing down and eroding the opponent. His effort right now, physically and mentally, has been good.
And the turnover again by Oklahoma City. Ray, you suited up for 6 teams in your NBA career. What do you think about some of the front offices that you came across during that playing time?
I think when you find a front office, when you move from franchise to franchise, is what it is that they value most. And there were some franchises, quite frankly, Kevin, that I played for where they just wanted you to show up on time, get there, play the game, and leave. Those franchises end up having a lot of struggle to find some footing in the league. They also find trouble finding attraction from free agency because people understand the culture just isn't there. There are other teams that do so many other things well, Kevin. You feel so much more valued as a player throughout your course of your career. Those are the places that end up sticking with you. And I think the league is doing a great job from top to bottom, moving in that direction. Now, some are doing it better than others. That will always be the case. But the idea around finding more completeness for what it is you provide a player is a great thing for everybody.
Diallo, the pass to Noel. Got a piece of it. Bazemore knocks it loose.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass. They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Now here's Bazemore. He picked up 15 points in their last win against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Gilgeous-Alexander with it. Now guarded by Bogdanovich. Noel down low. And Bogdanovich picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Sacramento on defense. Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. That doesn't go on the chance to tie. Joseph, the pass to Barnes. And now on the 2K leaderboard, the real stats, real scores from the real NBA. These are the best free throw shooting teams in the league. The Thunder in fourth.
You know, it's really a team-wide talent. You want to foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
The first free throw is good.
And you look at where the Kings are now as an organization. Did a great job rebuilding with the Cousins trade.
Well, many fans thought it was a bad deal in terms of talent, but there was so much tumult around that locker room with DeMarcus Cousins. It sort of cleared the deck for them to get themselves younger players, hungry to play and hungry to develop. Now Buddy Hield, a huge part of this team's future, along with De'Aaron Fox and possibly Marvin Bagley.
And Bogdanovich picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. The Kings making a switch here. Farrell's checked in, and the Thunder making a switch here. Noel with it. 9-point game his last outing. Here's Schroeder. Pass to Noel. Just 4 to shoot. From 20 feet out. It's hauled in by the Kings. Outside, Joseph. Kicks it to Barnes. Falls through. He's now made 2 of 4.
Got to respect the take charge attitude that Barnes is showing right now.
Schroeder looking over the floor. It's picked off. And now Sacramento on the break. Joseph leading the charge. It's good. And the Kings lead by 8. And it's Schroeder with the ball. He brings it up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. To the left wing. The Thunder shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
And team free throw numbers really about as good as you could ask for, around 80% on the season. Shooting 2.
First free throw is good. Halfway through the season here, Brent, how do coaching staffs shake things up and keep things fresh over the long 82-game season?
I think coaches who are really smart, Kevin, can be a bit programmable where they're looking ahead at the schedule and saying there are blocks of games here in which we might try to change some of our defensive schemes, maybe over this 10-game stretch or 5-game stretch. Or we're going
to keep things fresh or
oh,
to...
Yeah, because you can only do it on the mental side. As much as we talk about guys getting rested and sitting out games for maintenance issues and load management and those kind of things, the tweaks that you can make on the floor in terms of a couple of new sets on offense or defensively, let's make this challenge for the next few months, will grow the foundation of what coaching staffs are capable of doing with that team as they go on.
Diallo with it. Guarded now by Barnes. Yep, it counts.
And that's an example of playing big, adapting to the situation.
Tip of the cap there. I mean, that defense was good. The finish was better.
Here's Farrell. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Barnes right side. Over Muscala. Barnes can't get it to go. Thunder trailing by 8. Now the pass to Diallo. Oklahoma City moving it around. Schroeder left side. Just 5 on the clock. From deep. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And let's look at the last handful of seasons and the steal numbers for Bazemore.
And when you see the tumble his steal totals have taken the last few years, you can see that he's gotten away from playing the kind of gritty, hard-nosed D he was known for. That's an aspect of his game he needs to get back.
40 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Giles, that's good.
I like their focus coming in. Terrific execution so far.
Well, if there were 4 or 5 boxes to check in terms of the game plan tonight, they might have checked 6. I mean, they're doing everything out there.
And there it is for him.
The floater is such a deceptive and unguardable shot. You can understand why Schroeder elects to go with it there. Sweet looking on the dip.
Here's Farrell. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Now here's Schroeder. Over to the left wing. From the corner. That shot is off. And so it's Sacramento holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Chris Ball talks about the matchups he faces at the point guard.
The toughest position in the NBA night in and night out is the point guard position. You know, every night you look at the board, the coach is pretty much going to say, their team goes as such and such goes. You know what I mean? So that's the toughest part, and that's probably the funnest part, too, because it's competition.
And CP3, one of the most competitive players in the game.
It's an obsession with him, and you can see how hard he gets after it every time he takes the court.
And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And looking at what we've seen from Sacramento so far, guys, what do you think?
Well, their effort on the defensive end has set the tone for this game.
Defense has been infectious here as everybody stepping up aggressively on that end.
Harrison Barnes is out there with Kent Bazemore. Then it's Corey Joseph. And it's Giles in at center. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. Bazemore, no one around him. Connects from 3-point range. Bazemore's got the lead up to 11 now for the Kings. Pass to Noel. Dishes it to Schroeder. Here's Baisley. They get it back. Noel. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Well, when Nerlens Noel stays very confident offensively, good things like this tend to happen. Well, it's been up and down the last few years for Nerlens Noel, but there are still some impactful numbers for the minutes that he's on the floor as a rim protector.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
that's good from Noel. And for Noel, his numbers will never match the visual impact he has on the floor, wouldn't you say?
Oh, he's definitely a player about the little things out there, just being a rim protector, making sure that guys think about him when they're attacking the rim.
All free throws good from Noel.
Makes it pretty tough on the defense. Who you're going to pick to send to the free throw line. And he's hitting the free throws right now. Form looks good.
Pass to Giles. Barnes outside. Over Muscala. Barnes can't get it to go. Thunder trailing by 9. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. And here is Noel. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game.
Schroeder finds some deceptive ways to make you foul him. Someone who can nail some shots despite getting hit on the way up.
Greg, last season, Dennis Schroeder transitioning to more of a sixth-man role with the Thunder.
And for his first go at that role, I thought Schroeder looked really good. He's always been able to score and create, and coming off the bench might be the best spot for him.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Dwayne Dedmon's checked in for Harry Giles. Bielitsa comes in for Harrison Barnes. Buddy Hield, he's checked in for Kent Bazemore. And it's Fox in for Corey Joseph. We know officials try to be as objective as possible, Brent. It does sometimes feel like we get superstar calls, correct?
I think there's absolutely superstar calls, Kevin. And, you know, the purist in me wants the referees to keep it fair. But understanding that the game is entertainment and understanding what it takes to be that level of player, every now and then seeing a guy like James Harden getting a few more free throws or watching Giannis find his way to the line a few more times, I shrug my shoulders and I say, yeah, I actually kind of get it.
Yeah, good examples. And here's Gallinari following the three-pointer from De'Aaron Fox. Back to Noel. 5 to shoot, and it's Bielitsa with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Clock at 6. Here's Adams, and it's Sacramento with the rebound.
We'll have a hard time shaking that one off. Perfect position, plenty of space, just clanked it.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, after years and years of rebuilding, the Kings are finally a team on the rise, and they're earning respect. Draymond Green said they've got a lot of young talent, never quit, probably the fastest team in the history of the NBA. Green said after he plays them, I leave the game exhausted. I go home, I'm dead. And Kevin, we know that Green is pretty accustomed to going all out.
David, he sure is. He's got a lot of engine in him. Thank you so much. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
And really, for a long time, the specter hanging over Buddy Hield was he's the player who was traded for DeMarcus Cousins. Hard billing to live up to, but he has made some giant leaps with his development.
Free throw drops for Hield. And Hield has slowly but surely turned himself into one of the elite shooters in the NBA.
And guys, to be as locked in as he is from deep with his height and release is deadly. He's the kind of player who gets better as his teammates get better around him, and he is just now finding his stride.
That one falls, so he hits both of them.
And Hield is a player who you love to see take trips to the free throw line, as consistent as he is there.
Ball against Fox. Now here's Paul. Defense is right there. And De'Aaron Fox gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
Now here's Gilgeous-Alexander. He's covered by Bogdanovich. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play.
Well, they've been striving towards it for years now, and the Kings are finally one of the premier up-tempo teams.
Well, it works for them when you have a guy like De'Aaron Fox out there to blast off on any possession. You surround him with great shooters in Bogdanovich and Hield. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense on a nightly basis throughout the course of a regular season.
What's up?
That's good from Gilgeous-Alexander. And for the Thunder, a lot of the assistant coaches leaving this past summer. Greg, how much of a concern is that for head coach Billy Donovan?
Possibly a sign that Donovan could be on the hot seat in OKC. I mean, 3 consecutive first-round exits. Donovan on the final year of his deal. The clock is definitely ticking. Beautiful job closing the gap here. Let's see if they can sustain this run.
Well, they've shown both effort and will to get back into this one, but can they finish this one off? Can't let up now.
Now here's Paul. Following the missed shot by De'Aaron Fox.
Well, it's one thing to play good defense, but then to alter the shot and get the rebound, that's a good day's work.
A nice shot by Bogdanovich.
Pretty calm on that one. Bogdanovich staying with it even under pressure.
Paul against Fox. Paul looking over the floor. Here's Adams. Basket is good. He'll get a chance for one more at the line.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
And you look at the way Steven Adams has developed his offense the last few years. It's been a huge boost for this team. He has always been a great defender, but now he is an important cog on this team in terms of scoring.
What's up?
And Adams, no good on that one. And with Adams in his offense, you forget how young he is.
And big men, sometimes they just take a little longer to find their path in the NBA. And Adams has certainly found his. I remember him being in mostly to screen and rebound when he was a rookie, but look how far his game has come.
Here's Hield. The Thunder making the shot. Outside, Fox. Over Paul. And there are the Kings with another bucket.
And great job from beyond the arc this quarter. They are now shooting the three at almost 60% for the game.
Passes to Gilgeous-Alexander.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
And this is his second trip to the line in the game.
And that 82% free throw percentage this season must have him feeling pretty good about himself at the line.
That free throw missing.
You think about the Kings and how far off it is that they are from getting into their primes. If they keep learning the game the right way and find some cohesion together here, there's some building blocks for these Kings to do some damage in the near future and sustain it.
And he's good on the second.
Well, his body control is phenomenal, and his ability to get to the line has always been impressive. That's a huge part of his game.
That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
And let's look at some numbers for Bjelica. Tremendous numbers for him over the last 10 games. 5th in three-point shooting, 18th in rebounding. And with a top 20 ranking in field goal percentage, you put the ball in his hands, and he converts at a remarkable rate.
And yeah, he's one of the dead-eye sharpshooters in the game for sure. A top 5 percentage guy from deep. Just a hard man to slow down.
Can I say it? Terrific athleticism from Gallinari. I just did.
Brent, most NBA players peak around, what, 27, 28, 30 years old? Kings have a lot of players entering right now that range.
Well, you think about it, they're actually a few years even from that range, Kevin, and so that youth will pay off as long as the player development is there, and if they can stay with a consistent coach for some time here, the likes of Fox and Bagley and Hield and Bogdanovich. It's a nice young core. We'll see if they can get the job done, get themselves into the playoffs, and start getting the kind of experience that propels an organization forward.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
Fox kicks to Dedmon. Here's Bogdanovich up and in on the layup. Bogdanovich has got the game tied up here for Sacramento.
Probing and looking and finding ways. Bogdanovich really in attack mode here tonight.
Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
And Brett, even though the Thunder have come up short in recent years, they are looking to the future as their time.
Well, interesting the way that Sam Presti went about his business in the offseason, trading away Russell Westbrook and then collecting so many draft picks. I can't even count them, but what a great way for them to rebuild and revamp in Oklahoma City.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls.
Such a long and versatile guard that possesses a very intriguing and exciting skill set. Gilgeous-Alexander, lots of room to grow.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And every season, the Thunder continue to be one of the more dominating teams on the glass.
Just wonder how much Steven Adams has been the catalyst for that kind of mentality. We know that offensively he's always in there to grab rebounds, but it's part of what they know is important in any possession is collecting the ball.
Misses from close range. And here's Hield. He'll bring it up for the Sacramento Kings. Trailing by 2. They're off to battle the Clippers after this game as they'll be playing at the Staples Center. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. Now here's Hield. He's got 5. 5 on the clock. A nice shot by Bogdanovich.
It took a little bit of time, but now he's taking the pen off the cap and putting his mark on this game.
Gilgeous-Alexander surveying the D. It's Dedmon with the rebound. Dedmon's got his 6th rebound on the night. A 3 from Bogdanovich. And another 3 for Sacramento.
This quarter belongs to him, and that's how you do it when you're out in front. Don't play it safe. Keep that momentum going.
Here's Dedmon, and Dedmon throws it down.
The athleticism Dedmon's bringing right now on offense is paying some dividends, gliding through the air that time.
Paul passes to Gallinari. Here's Ferguson, covered by Hield. Ferguson kicks to Gallinari. To halt the run. The rebound by Hield. Kings leading now by 6. Outside, Fox. Some nice ball movement here by the Kings. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Giles checked in for the Kings. And a switch here also for Oklahoma City. Muscala's checked in. Here's Giles. Adams defending. Giles the pass to Hield. Just 5 on the clock. Elbow shot is on the way. Yep, that one goes in there. Hield's got 7 points in the game.
And right now, they're just focused on putting together good possession.
That's exactly how they got the lead. They ended up having multiple possessions in a row with good quality shots, knocked them down, and the game is fully in their control.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Barnes, he's checked in for Bielitsa. Ken Bazemore comes in for Heald, and it's Joseph in for Fox. Now, here's Joseph. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Back to Bogdanovich. There's the triple. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Noel's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Now, here's Diallo. D right on him. Another miss, and they've really hit a rough patch here. For Oklahoma City, their last game was a loss to Dallas.
Poor execution in that one. Not sure what led to the lack of focus, but coaching staff definitely not happy.
And they made some comments themselves that some of the fault might have lied with them because they didn't go in with the best of game plans and they didn't make the right adjustments. So we'll see tonight if they do.
Thunder on D. 8-point game. Bazemore finds Barnes. Ball's knocked loose. Schroeder with the ball. Now guarded by Bogdanovich. Here's Diallo. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as he'd like.
Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. Both shots good from the stripe. Now Joseph. And there's the pass to Bogdanovich. And Giles now top of the key. Outside Bogdanovich. No good with the triple.
And one thing I liked in the first quarter was their aggressiveness to draw the contact, putting the defense on the defensive.
Schroeder finds Muscala. And here's Diallo. 6 on the shot clock. From deep 3-point range. And it's Sacramento with the rebound. They've led by as many as 11 points.
This feels like it's snowballed a little bit on them. The more he tries to shoot his way out of this slump, the worse it seems to get. They need him to get it together.
Yogi Ferrell's checked in for Bogdan Bogdanovich. A minute 20 left now here in the second. Now here's Bazemore. He's guarded by Diallo. 4 on the shot clock. Ferrell for 3. A three-pointer is right on target. Ferrell's got his first 3 points of the game.
Over the taller defender. This is why you have to stay connected to shooters on the perimeter.
Yeah, that effort just not good enough because even if that defender was a bit taller, the shooter already locked in.
The Thunder have shot 10 of 13 from the free throw line.
Shooting 2.
That one is off. He doesn't get the second one. And so Bazemore will bring it up for the Kings. They have a 9-point lead. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. And a quick look at how the Oklahoma City Thunder's schedule is shaping up. On Friday, they'll go up against Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. And then on Wednesday, they'll take on Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
And for the matchup with the Celtics, it's going to be a battle for this group. You get the feeling they'll need to be at their sharpest if they want to come away with a victory.
And he knocks down the first one.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
Good on both.
Well, when he gets into a groove at the free throw line, it doesn't just last for tonight. This might be 2 weeks, 2 months, something like that.
Schroeder outside, and that's a foul called on Yogi Ferrell. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. And you watch Dennis Schroeder, you can see how deadly Brent he can be when he's locked in.
Well, he accepted the role in Oklahoma City about coming off the bench and trying to be a spark plug for Schroeder. It's really about consistency, Kevin.
That free throw, no good.
With Schroeder, it's all about speed. He just changes direction and shifts into another gear, Kevin. That's where his advantage lies.
So he comes up empty at the line.
And for him, that is an ugly trip to the line. Rarely do you see him do that.
Ferrell passes to Bazemore. And it's Noel with the rebound.
Well, the D's so tight on him, it makes him alter his shot. And an easy chance turns into a tough one because the defense is swarming.
Schroeder with the ball. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Dallas.
Yeah, but all around offensively, the performance was great. He knew when he had it going, but he also knew he could get other guys going. So his passing right up there on the level with his scoring in that one.
And so it's the Sacramento Kings holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. They're feeling very confident, shooting the ball with great efficiency and dictating the pace. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Harrison, a strong first half for you guys defensively. What has worked at that end?
We're trying to be active. You know, this is a very good team. They've been shooting the ball really well from 3, so we're just trying to run them off the line.
So far, so good. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back to 2K Sports, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Let's talk about that first half. Harrison Barnes was the man in the first. He had 11 points and 1 rebound. Shaq, how did you think the Kings were playing?
The speed they're playing with has been fantastic. They're pushing the ball in transition and catching the defense. That's snapping, Ernie. Anyway, a huge chunk of their offense has come on the break. They've got a nice lead, but they shouldn't slow anything down. I say keep doing what you do.
And over to Kenny. Your thoughts on the Thunder?
To me, they looked out of sync shooting the basketball. Under 40% for the first half. Some of it was poor shot selection, but mostly it just looked like they were out of rhythm. For the second half, they need to push more for buckets in transition. Get to the foul line a little bit more. Try to get back in the flow.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. Thunder trailing by 11. And on the floor for Billy Donovan as we get into the second half. Gallinari and Adams, the combo out front. Gilgeous-Alexander out there with Paul, and it's Ferguson in at the small forward position.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Fox kicks to Dedmon. Barnes outside. 6 to shoot. Sacramento needs to get off a shot. And Adams sends it back. Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. And it's off from three-point range. Sacramento leading by 11. Healed the pass to Barnes. Gallinari with the steal. Adams dishes to Paul. Back to Adams. And stolen by Dedmon. Outside, Fox. Paul with the steal. Gallinari passes to Gilgeous-Alexander. From downtown, here's Adams. And the lead is down inside single digits. Adams has got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Thunder. Healed outside. He feeds it to Fox. And Adams sends it back. And he recovers it.
Not been an easy start. 3 straight misses here on these possessions.
That's a 2 from Paul. A rebound by Hield. Hield's got 4 rebounds in this game.
1 of 5 here, Kevin, to start the half. Their offense looks like it's shrinking right now. Well, his shooting has been a little bit below par. You think about what this lead would look like if he was on.
Now here's Paul. 5 points in the game. Just 5 to shoot. Oklahoma City needs to get off a shot. A nice shot by Gallinari.
Nice swing action there. Gallo, he simply squares up and rises to the occasion.
Poked loose. Fox passes to Barnes. Out to the wing. Shot by Bielitsa and nobody around. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark.
Ouch. 5 shots without a make. That's a really ragged start coming out of halftime.
Paul passes to Adams. Gilgeous-Alexander with it. The dish to Gallinari. Ferguson for 3. Barnes grabs the miss. Kings leading now by 6. He kicks it to Fox. Pass to Hield. Sacramento moving it around. Dedmon in the high post. Adams against Fox. And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession. Let's check out the Western Conference standings right now that we're here in the new year. Taking a look at Oklahoma City. They're down at the 7th position right now. Decent start to the season, but they're looking to make a move. And of course, Sacramento, 10 games behind.
And when I look at Oklahoma City, they've had an interesting season for sure. They're competitive, they're feisty, but they're not a team that's going to dominate for long stretches.
I just think if you're on the other side, Greg, how much are you looking at that team and saying, we're scared of them? So not a lot of fear from the opposition and what they're bringing to the table. They're good, they compete, but do they have that extra gear? I'm not sure.
Adams' shot is good.
Well, Adams with that kind of positioning so deep inside, he becomes a force down low.
Now a timeout called by Sacramento.
In the first few seasons in the NBA, not an easy time for Terrence Ferguson. Young wings have their ups and downs, but the franchise still very much believes in his talent.
All right, a chance to see stats for Paul. A wonderful string of games he's put together here lately. He's averaging about 19 points per, 6 assists and 4 rebounds. And you look at the numbers he's been putting up, fantastic scoring production from him.
Yeah, hard to ask for anything more at this point. He's really stepped up and he's really delivered.
Now Barnes. Following De'Aaron Fox's three-point attempt. Here's Dedmon. And finally, that one's good. Dedmon's got 8.
And they continue to control the glass.
Passes it to Paul. Shoots over Fox. And too long on the shot. And with Ferguson, the fans can be hard on him. They're expecting more. But, Greg, it's going to take time for him.
You know, Ferguson has already made big strides with his defense. The shot and consistency will come, but the fans will have to be patient with it.
The Kings have been a perfect 8 of 8 at the line.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He misses the free throw.
So much talk about who's the fastest player in the league, and Fox always being mentioned there. His speed and stepping into this leadership role, lots of great signs from De'Aaron Fox.
He's off on the second.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly.
Here's Paul. He's got 5. And it's Harrison Barnes with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Sacramento making a switch here. Bogdanovich is checked in. Here's Paul. He's been a nice option for them offensively, and he's averaging more than 17 points a game.
How about the change of speed from Chris Paul? That helps out a lot. Adept at getting his shots off under some heavy pressure.
Now, here's Fox. 4-point game. Three-pointer Hield. The Thunder pull it in. Adams has got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Gilgeous-Alexander, good.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And so Fox will bring it up for Sacramento. Stolen away. To the paint. And that one is stuffed right through.
Gilgeous-Alexander learning this offensive system and learning it well.
Fox passes to Hield. Kicks to Dedmon. He dishes it to Bogdanovich. 6 on the shot clock. Knocks it loose. And so it looks like the Kings will retain possession here. Well, these are players that have a job to do, and they've been doing it very well. Here's a look at the top passing point guards in the NBA over the course of the past 10 games. 4th, De'Aaron Fox.
And obviously assists are the name of the game at the point guard position, and that's not lost on these guys. It's all about making their teammates better.
Those are some of the best basketball minds in the NBA. The way they think the game out there is remarkable. Always several steps ahead of the defense, finding the right angles, the right openings, and making one unbelievable play after another.
Hield outside. They need this. Another shot. And Adams sends it back.
Things are going south right now. This is not the type of shooting that his teammates expect from him.
Here's Ferguson. Guarded by Fox. Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Ferguson.
Not getting old here. Seeing him make that lead pass with perfect timing.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Timeout called by the Kings.
And they're allowing too many points in the paint. Coach is going to let them hear about it.
Yeah, coach knows that. They know that. In the timeout, they're going to hear about it, make the adjustment.
Sacramento making some changes. Giles checked in for Dwayne Dedmon. Ken Bazemore comes in for Hield. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Fox.
How about that touch, Bogdanovich? That time from way out.
And here are the Thunder now. They're on a 17-5 run here. Diallo the pass to Schroeder. Back to Diallo. Over Bogdanovich. Diallo no good. The Kings trailing. Joseph up top. He's guarded by Schroeder. And Joseph kicks to Bogdanovich. Here's the floater. No good on the shot. Now Oklahoma City takes it the other way. Next up, they'll face the Suns. That'll be in Phoenix. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip. Here's Diallo. It's blocked. And it's out of bounds to the Thunder as Oklahoma City retains possession. Schroeder, right side. Offline with his three.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
Back to Bazemore. That's tipped. Shot clock at 6. Schroeder against Joseph. To Muscala. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. Noel up top. Second shot opportunity, and he lays it up and in. And the Thunder lead by 3.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
Joseph finds Bazemore. And it's Noel with the rebound. Noel's got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active. Bazley, good. Bazley's got the lead up to 5 now for the Thunder.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
The pass to Bielitsa. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
Yeah, Bielitsa pushing right through the contact that time.
Schroeder against Joseph. Throws it up high. And there's a whistle that goes on Corey Joseph. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Here's Schroeder. He's got 5. And Joseph gets the whistle that time. That's his 4th foul of the contest. Schroeder outside. And he lays it straight in. Schroeder's got 7.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Knocked loose and stolen by Noel. Uncovered again, Oklahoma City.
And whatever it was at halftime worked because their offense far more effective here in the second. They finally found some sets that are working for them.
Now here's Bazemore. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Farrell's checked in for the Kings. And the rejection by Noel.
Noel in there to intimidate and does so there.
Pass to Bazley. The rebound by Giles.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
Such a long road to recovery from Harry Giles, but so many people rooting for Harry when it is that he makes some kind of plays that remind you of when Giles was one of the top recruits coming out of his high school class, one that included De'Aaron Fox and also Jason Tatum.
Schroeder passes to Noel. Kicks it out to Schroeder. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. Farrell for 3. It's rebounded by Schroeder.
Having a hand up in your face makes such a difference to a shooter.
Yeah, as good as you can do without getting a block there to defend.
Barnes, who's checked in for Kent Bazemore. There's 37 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Farrell kicks to Barnes. Back to Farrell. Pass to Giles. It's blocked. And the Thunder pushing it up now. Diallo, no good.
Kind of rare to see any player have this much of a struggle from the field. To still have the lead shows how resilient they are as a complete team.
That's a 2 from Barnes, and the jumper is good. Barnes has got 13, and we've reached the end of the 3rd. Thunder lead by 5. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. And it's time to bring up the State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
Well, there's a way to break down the defense with the handle. You can do it with the pass. Prime example of that right there.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. On the court right now for the Kings, they've got Corey Joseph. Harrison Barnes is out there with Nemanja Bjelica. Then it's Dwayne Dedmon, and it's Farrell in at the 1 spot. Here's Farrell. Barnes outside, down to 5 on the shot clock. And the foul called on Nerlens Noel. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
Oh, what a terrible foul there. The shot clock winding down, and he ends up bailing out the offense with a silly foul.
Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. Fields checked in for Corey Joseph. And it's Fox in for Yogi Ferrell. And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That's his 4th foul of the contest. Fox against Schroeder. That's it, and the Oklahoma City lead is cut down now to just 3 on the bucket from Fox.
Fox pretty good when he decides to use his speed. He's going to get the defense on their heel.
Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Nobody near Barnes. And the Kings check on 2 more. Here's Schroeder. 60 seconds off the clock here in the 4th. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. That one is on Hield.
Gilgeous-Alexander does a good job of just staying aggressive, and that just forces the defense to do something.
And he makes the first. And so he makes both from the line. A few possessions into the 4th quarter, just over a minute played. Fox passes to Hield. Right side, Fox. And Bjelica kicks to Barnes. Shot clock at 5. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
The defense better tighten up on the mid-range there. Much, much tighter. You expect him to make every single one of those. There's more he could have done in this game for sure, but it hasn't kept them from pulling ahead.
Here's Fox. Count the basket and the foul. It's going to be on Nerlens Noel.
Finding more and more ways is De'Aaron Fox to score the basketball. That time gets contact.
Ball's checked in for Dennis Schroeder.
What's up?
That one drops. He ties it up. We're just over a minute and a half now into the 4th. Now here's Paul. Launches it. No good that time. Now Sacramento takes it the other way. They've led by as many as 11 points. And Fox gets it to go.
The closer that Fox gets inside, the more effective he could say. I guess you could say he's good in the Fox hole.
Oh, and there's the alley-oop. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Fox.
A split second late, but almost came up with a steal there.
Real close, and I'm sure next time you might time that a little bit better and get a hand on it.
Steven Adams, he's checked in for Noel. On defense, Sacramento. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Hield. And now in transition, it's Barnes. Here we go.
Yeah, Barnes right there with nice control as he gets in there driving to the rim.
2 shots. Foul. Elbow. 2. Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First one falls for. He hits one, then this is the second attempt from the free throw line.
Well, that's a guy out there in Steven Adams that you just have to pay attention to. Every night he's going to bang around the opposing big guys and be a threat around the rim to score and pick up offensive rebounds.
Lock at 6. And Gallinari kicks to Ferguson. The Thunder get it back in a new 14. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Buries it from three-point range. Gilgeous-Alexander's got it all tied up now for the Thunder. For Sacramento, they've gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. And with Adams on the offensive glass, he is impossible to move.
Well, that's a big reason why a couple years ago, Kevin, he grabbed more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. So you know he's going to live in the paint.
And here is Gilgeous-Alexander following the three-pointer by Buddy Hield. Fox looking it over. Back to Hield. And here is Dedmon. He kicks it to Barnes. 14 feet away. Second chance shot. Dedmon's shot is off. Thunder trailing by 3. Pass to Gilgeous-Alexander. Adams trying to free himself up. Gilgeous-Alexander can't get it to go. Here's Fox, and it's Fox with the jam.
Continuing to expand his offensive game. Fox off to a good start.
Paul passes to Gilgeous-Alexander. Paul dishes to Gallinari. Fires from deep. Oklahoma City gets it back, and Adams with the slam.
Adams just continuing to grind it out, outstanding, staying after that possession, and then he grabs a second chance deuce.
Now a timeout called by Sacramento.
And as things present themselves throughout a game, teams have to adapt on the fly.
And timeouts are a wonderful opportunity to just settle in and recollect the thoughts of your entire team. Not just the guys playing, but the entire team, Greg.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Luke Walton was saying to the team, and he's pushing them to empty the tank. He said, I know you're tired and it's been a tough game, but we can't hold back. If you're tired, come out. Otherwise, I want you full speed, guys.
And Aaron Fox gets the whistle that time. And that'll be his third foul so far. Oklahoma City moving the ball around.
The three-pointer has not been his weapon in this one. He had 1 in the first quarter and still 0 here in the second.
Good on the shot.
And you can just see the confidence level growing with each shot that he's made. That's now 5 of 5 here in the fourth.
And Buddy Hield is going to pick up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Ferguson, covered by Barnes. Ball against Hield. Paul kicks to Gilgeous-Alexander. 5 to shoot. Here's Adams. Falls right in. He is 8 for 11 with that shot.
There's the willingness to compete from Steven Adams right there. Finishes through contact.
Now the pass to Dedmon. Back to Fox. From down in the low post, it goes. Fox has got 13 points in the second half. Paul with the 3, drills the three-pointer.
Chris Paul is just so comfortable and so confident. He's got such a quick release, too, off the bounce on that pull-up jumper.
Dedmon finds Fox. Barnes outside. The kick out to Fox. And Paul over to help. Fox passes to Dedmon. That one, no good. Good work defensively by Paul. Gallinari inside the three-point line. And a great assist by Gilgeous-Alexander as that one goes in.
Well, the D is aware of Gallo's jumper, but not on that possession.
Pass to Barnes. And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
Really, it's about valuing the possession. It seems like he's trying to manufacture offense out there rather than just letting the play develop.
Some firepower from this offense tonight.
Yeah, they got a nice groove going right now offensively.
And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
Well, love the aggressive play here from Adams. He gets the shot he wants, and now another opportunity to challenge himself at the free throw line.
And he can't get the first one.
And Steven Adams does all of the dirty work. I mean, all of it, Kevin. A defensive anchor and continues to play with tremendous energy on a nightly basis.
Good on the second free throw.
Yeah, being down 2 points instead of 1 thanks to the free throw miss makes getting a stop here absolutely critical.
Fox against Paul. Pass to Barnes. It's hauled in by Adams. Adams has got rebound number 19 now. Incredible board work. Ferguson kicks to Paul. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Paul's got the game tied up here for the Thunder. And so Fox will bring it up for the Kings. They've led by as many as 11 points. Dedmon finds Fox. Hield outside. Passes it to Dedmon. 4 on the clock. From deep. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D.
Well, after committing a turnover like that, you're just praying the game doesn't come down to the last possession. You'll remember that one.
Here's Oklahoma City. They've gone on a 10-2 run, not allowing much. Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander, covered by Hield. Gilgeous-Alexander can't get it to go. Sacramento's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Fox passes to Dedmon. The Thunder pull it in. Now, Gilgeous-Alexander tipped away. There's the pass to Gallinari. Here's Ferguson. Good D by Hield. Here's Ferguson, covered by Barnes. And the free throw is good, now leading by 1. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. And for Sacramento, they're shooting 43% for the game. Fox passes to Hield. That one's off, still out of sync. Thunder have gone only 6 of 14 from the field in the fourth. Ferguson for 3. It's hauled in by the Kings. Hield's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Outside, Fox. Hield kicks to Bielitsa. Shot clock at 5. Here's Fox. Sacramento again missing. The Thunder shooting 41% for the game. Paul's shot is off. The Kings shooting well here in the fourth quarter, 50%. Now here's Barnes. He's guarded closely, and the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. And Sacramento has possession. Ball against Fox. Just 5 on the clock. Hield outside. Good on the triple. Hield's got a couple of three-pointers now in the fourth for the Kings.
Well, Hield has been in these spots before and soaking up the moment here.
Ball passes to Gilgeous-Alexander. Shoots over Fox. Good work defensively by Fox. Sacramento's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc since the final quarter's gotten underway. A 3 from Barnes. The rebound by Steven Adams.
He just doesn't look like himself this quarter. Something's missing.
Well, he's missing, and it's starting to affect a little bit in his body language, and you just don't want to see that.
Now here's Paul. Over Fox. That's good. It's his 7th made basket in 14 tries.
Yeah, and do you see Chris Paul sweating right now, Kevin? I don't.
We've got 1:08 left to play here in the fourth. Out left to the wing. Hield outside. And no good that time. Adams, some nice D. Pass to Ferguson. Beyond the arc. Trifecta.
Whoa, the nerves on this guy.
Not backing down from this moment here. When the game is close, he kicks it up a notch.
Timeout called by the Kings. They're behind by 4. There's 48 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Steven Adams.
He's put on a shooting exhibition for us here tonight. He's missed a couple along the way, but it sure seems like everything's been falling for him. The only way to keep him from converting is to keep the ball out of his hands.
There's 48 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Now here's Barnes. Defense right on him. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. Pass to Ferguson. Fires for 3. No good. Shot missing. And Sacramento will go the other way with it. Three-pointer Hield. The rebound by Steven Adams. And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
He drops the first one, and that puts them up by 5.
This is an area where Chris Paul has been solid every year, always right around 90% from the charity stripe.
And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 6-point ball game.
Some padding here on the free throw line, some good work.
Now a timeout called by Sacramento. They're trailing by 6. 20 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And that'll be Oklahoma City's ball as it goes out of bounds.
Man, if you're going to grab it, grab that thing. He just lazily reaches out for that, and the result is it's deflected right off of his hand.
20 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And Aaron Fox gets the whistle that time. And so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game.
And guys, this is where their depth really comes into play. They've got such talent at that position. They'd love to have him out there, but they won't suffer much of a drop-off.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. 19 seconds left in the game.
Guys, let's just go ahead and call this one. It's over.
Do you want to keep expending energy, or do you want to start thinking about the next one?
It's tipped. Burton, the pass to Paul. So it's Oklahoma City picking up the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, gee, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they...
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.